I think things I need to work on going forward is just like reading earlier in the day. I generally like procrastinate personal. How do I procrastinate personal reading? Because like I feel like I think the reason is like I don't like grasp what I'm reading unless I'm reading at like 12 a.m. bro. Like anyway, I got a lot of video ideas planned, but like I love and hate editing, bro. It's just like I'm such a chud, bro. Like it just takes so long. It just to find each clip, find the clip, download the clip, download. Also, like, why is it 70 degrees outside? And it's it's not January, bro. It's February, but like that's still like winter. Like that's deep winter, bro. And it's like yeah, bro. I guess, bro. Repost your AI shit, bro. I guess, bro. Fuck it, bro. Like we're all fucking everybody get naked.
Fuck it, everybody get naked. Let's see who pussy the best.
Like it's over. Like it's genuinely over, bro. Like there's just like one nuke. Trump is probably about to blow us all the way to hell, bro. Why aren't we all rioting? I don't know. I'm about to go to a protest tomorrow. That's my first step to getting to the revolution. Jordan Brown revolution, bro. I'm being dead ass. I'm being like 40% serious too, bro. Anyway, let's get to the video. I love y'all, bro. Hello everyone. My name is Brownies, and I've read 4-ish books last month. Some manga, some novels. I know this video is very late, but I've just been trying to get back to uploading. This is like my second upload this year, and I think these styles of videos will help me get back into like the swing of things. Let me know more book recommendations and manga recommendations in the comments down below, and just more ideas for videos. I hope you all enjoy, and let's get started. As the national political climate increases at a rapid speed.
Here we go. Here's the photograph. This is why he wanted to repeat everything that had been said previously on Epstein. This is his state, New York. You probably don't even know who this is. Wahid Mohammed from Afghanistan.
That's because I'm no longer a prosecutor.
Convicted of assault. Wow, he represents New York. Wow, yet he doesn't care about the illegal aliens convicted of crimes.
Bruh.
Assault and homicide. No longer a prosecutor, so he doesn't care about his constituents. Here we go. Arson. El Salvador. Miguel Palacios. Herman Flores Ramales. Mexico. Rape.
Let's talk about the 70% of immigrants who are detained without a criminal conviction or arrest. Stop the clock. Time belongs to Congressman Dodd.
The international and global issues that we face in society feel so insignificant to us Americans. When I wake up in the morning and I see that our tax dollars have been spent on bombing children in Israel, I not only get confused on international relations, but I also question if our current government is even human. I want change not only for this country, but for humanity. I think as the human race, it is our duty to prosper, love, and face challenges together, not warring for a slightly better economy or better gas. Out of this confusion, birthed some curiosity. So I took it upon myself to get informed on not only international relations, but also international issues we faced and overcame. I finally read a book that was just sitting right on my bedstand for a good while. A global agenda features issues before the 59th General Assembly of the UN, meaning essentially anything before 2004 to 2005. It is extremely easy to read with just 7 chapters. However, it is extremely dense and chock full of information. A global agenda discusses issues like pharmaceutical rights, global terrorism, general health safety and how we can approach it, Millennium Development Goals, and the future of humanity. It's one of the most informational books I've personally ever read and gives me broader context on what issues we used to face, what issues we are facing now, and how I can help eliminate those issues. Overall, I give Global Agenda a 4 out of 5. It's incredibly dense and goes into high detail on specific conferences, making it a bit weird to read at times. However, it is a gem for connecting older international issues with our current political climate. I've been through a lot of relationships. And although I'm young, I still feel like I'll never understand love or find someone that is compatible with me. Why do I feel this way? Pride and Prejudice is a book written by Jane Austen on you, me, and everyone you love. You love me, right? It explores interpersonal relationships with others and intrapersonal relationships within your own mind. If I were to describe the characters, I wouldn't really say there is a main character. However, the most prolific character is Elizabeth Bennet. She provides by far the most intelligent commentary on what love is. However, the book plays out more like an episodic series with very minor events being splayed over the course of 1 to 2 chapters. Galas and large extravagant dances are seen throughout the book, set in rural England with a very affluent set of families. Pride and Prejudice focuses its message on, well, Pride and Prejudice. I think this small passage very early on in the book explains the whole understanding of this book very well.
I safely promise you never to dance with him. His pride, said Miss Lucas, does not offend me so much as pride often does, because there is an excuse for it. One cannot wonder that so very fine a young man, with family, fortune, everything in his favour, should think highly of himself. If I may so express it, he has a right to be proud. That is very true, replied Elizabeth, that I could easily forgive his pride if he had not mortified mine. Pride, observed Mary, who piqued herself upon the solidity of her reflections, is a very common failing, I believe. By all that I have ever read, I am convinced that it is very common indeed, that human nature is particularly prone to it, and that there are very few of us who do not cherish a feeling of self-complacency on the score of some quality or other, real or imaginary. Vanity and pride are different things, though the words are often used synonymously. A person may be proud without being vain. Pride relates more to our opinion of ourselves, vanity to what we would have others think of us.
I think the polarization of the woman and the men provides such an interesting dynamic where you see people put their entire value systems of relationships into a criteria list. If you don't have good manners, you aren't even worth speaking to. If you don't have money, you might as well have not even showed up in my life at all. A value system rooted in capitalism. Which brings me to my takeaway from this book. And it's us. We show Pride and Prejudice. Oh my God. Our entire base of understanding is based upon contractual agreements. If I want food, I have to pay someone or give someone something to obtain that food. If I want a relationship, I require time and dedication towards me, and I also need someone with a lot of money. So yeah, basically capitalism is in every facet of our being in the way we love. Anyway, yes, an exchange system is all love is, and there are a myriad of people you will love in this lifetime. It's just who you choose to settle down with. Okay, I'm done talking about love. This is my cope for Valentine's Day. Valentine's is just another holiday made up by companies in order to gain more profit. Pride and Prejudice, I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5. I think there just wasn't enough exposition and background on characters. Things get it like very quick, and there's essentially just no background on like characters, or like there's a story, but it's like I said, episodic. It's just kind of like we're just going. It's like a play kind of. I think it is more of like a comedy, so it's not really meant to be like taken too seriously. However, there are those serious moments, and that's where it really shines, when it speaks on yourself and it speaks on other people and how we love. I think that's when it really shines through. Manga. Oh, and then sorry, make sure you put in like the edit of like the manga. You guys read manga, right? Yeah. The year is 1998. Over half a century ago, the sudden rise of Chojin brought about chaos. Nations collapsed, leaving locally governed prefectures in their wake. With story and art by Sui Ishida, it was destined to be an instant success. We follow a kid named Tokyo and his best friend Azuma, two perfectly normal kids, where nothing bad happens to them. They then get attacked by a rampaging Chojin and almost die. But then something awakens inside of Tokyo. As they are about to die, and Tokyo gains his bestial Chojin powers. What is a Chojin, you ask? A ghoul. It's the ghouls from Tokyo Ghoul. No, but they are individualized creatures that are incredibly powerful and can do some crazy ass things. Chojin X is incredibly in-depth, but they don't present ideas and concepts in a demeaning way. They show you these crazy ass events through its... I think Ishida's art is some of the best I've seen in manga. It is so striking yet so vibrant and confusing, but in a good way. It matches the tone themes and dialogue so well, it almost makes you sucked in with the absurd spiraling imagery. If I were to compare it to any other mangaka, I would say Kentaro Miura, Horikoshi, and Obata. And I think the two most prominent new gen authors, Tatsuki Fujimoto and Sui Ishida, incorporate different styles yet also make brave decisions in paneling style, which is very interesting to see. Sorry, enough rambling, on to characters. As I mentioned before, Tokyo gets his powers very early on, but he's kind of a loser and sucks ass, so he continues to follow in the footsteps of his way cooler best friend, Azuma. In Chojin X, you see a quick change to Tokyo's mindset as he develops his Chojin powers. Tokyo exemplifies a feeling everyone goes through at an early age, a lack of confidence and ambition. Sometimes I think we feel weak to the pure infiniteness that is life, and we cling to one another to find some sort of belonging in one another. That, I believe, is Tokyo's issue early on in the manga. It's because of this simple but relatable character trait that makes it so fucking awesome when he gets powers and beats someone's ass. Because if Tokyo can do it, maybe I can too. Not Chojin powers. That is biologically impossible. But I can get a degree, or run for president, or solve world hunger. I can do any of that just by reading Chojin X. I don't want to go too in depth, and I know I've barely talked about anything actually in the manga, but I think the series deserves a video on its own, so be on the lookout for that. That also goes for all the other books I've talked about. I picked up reading again in December 2024, so about a year ago, and as dystopian as it is to say, I almost feel lucky that I was able to get back into it as easily as I did. I think manga helped with keeping my goopy ass brain entertained. However, there was one series early on in my reading journey that really captivated me and genuinely got me to understand why millions of people love reading. Red Rising is a sci-fi series by author Pierce Brown, published originally in 2014. 14 colors, red being the lowest of the low, barely worth even appearing on the surface of any colonized planet. Miners and slaves of helium deposits deep within Mars's underground. On the other end of the spectrum lie golds, who are the most genetically advanced human beings to ever exist. Power, fame, looks, knowledge. The golds have anything a human being would want to attain, and therein lies the power disparity laid within the very first few chapters of the entire series. You follow Darrow O. Lycos, a red born on Mars. I'm not going to spoil what happens so abruptly, even though it is on the synopsis on the back of the book, but something very bad happens to his colony and he ends up committing suicide. Or so you think, as he is revived and captured by underground revolutionary militia who genetically morphs him into a gold. Mind you, this is all happening within 10 to 15 chapters. I'm done getting into details. However, Red Rising... God damn it. What is it? Bro, always... Yo. I'm done getting into details. However, Red Rising is one of the best series I've ever read so far, and I just finished the second book in early January. The final book releases sometime in summer 2026. There are 6 books in the entire series so far. I am on book 3. Do y'all think I can catch up before Red God? As I was saying, Red Rising is jam-packed with action, drama, and emotion, and doesn't use too complex wording or vernacular as older classics do, which I believe leaves more room for you to understand the world building and characters a lot better. It speaks so much on the modern political climate and revolutionary ideals. It doesn't romanticize or glamorize it, however. It makes it real and painful. Everything that requires effort, especially world-changing, has nuance, and Red Rising explores that nuance so well. Red Rising gets a 5 out of 5 from me. I think about it damn near every day. That's going to end my very late video on books I read in January. This is the first of my series that will be going on indefinitely until I eventually perish and die. I hope you guys enjoyed again. Please recommend me books to read. I prefer sci-fi and manga, but I am generally open to any and all books. Hope you guys had a great day. I love you all. Peace.